Taiwan is one of the most democratic countries in Asia.
Considero que es un país independiente.
Well, I know it's independent and it's never been ruled by the People's Democratic Republic of China.
People themselves refer to it as a country. One should respect one's desires to be autonomous.
Dejen libres y que seáis como queráis ser los taiwaneses, no como digan los chinos.
中国可以早日统一吧。台湾可以向澳门还有香港学习。
学习哪方面
Hola chicos， 我是 Adele。今天呢，在瓦伦西亚的街头即将做一个非常有争议性，或者是说可以很有讨论性的一个街访主题。今天就要来访问欧洲人，他们对台湾了解有多少？他们对台湾跟中国的关系有什么样的看法
？Do you know about Taiwan?
Yes, I know Taiwan.
I know about it, but that's pretty much it.
Sí, tengo muy buenos amigos de Taiwán.
Do you know about Taiwan?
Yes, very much.
¿Has escuchado Taiwan? ¿Habéis escuchado Taiwan?
Sí, he escuchado, sí.
Yes, I have. I have actually lived there for years.
Yes, I do.
Have you been there?
Yes.
What do you know about Taiwan?
I know that Taiwan is an island off the east of China and that there's a lot of controversy around their independence or being a part of China.
Bueno, es una isla que está en Asia. Estuve viajando por Asia en general, pero no la ubico geográficamente ahora exactamente dónde está.
Well, I know it's independent and it's never been ruled by the People's Democratic Republic of China. My political views about that is China needs to lay off and Taiwan needs to be free.
Currently seen as Chinese territory. Do they speak Chinese? I don't know.
We do speak Mandarin.
You speak Mandarin. Not a lot, to be honest.
知道台湾哪些事情？
是关于政治的吗？
No mucho.
Muy poco, que está en el sudeste asiático y
Sobre todo por las etiquetas de la ropa, que hay mucha ropa que se fabrica en vuestro país.
que se fabrica mucho ahí, hay muchas fábricas o algo.
了解过一点点，但是不多。
Before I went to Taiwan, and to be honest, I didn't know anything. Discovered everything about Taiwan when I went there.
Sé que está en Asia y tampoco mucho más.
Do you think Taiwan is a country?
Yes,
Why?
yes. Because the people themselves refer to it as a country. One should respect one's desires to be autonomous.
Sí, considero que es un país independiente porque tienen su propia cultura, hablan también como en algunas partes su propia lengua. Entonces, por esas razones, pienso que sí que es un país independiente.
I believe if you have your own economic independence, if you have independent in every way except for this one small signature needed on one line, and that's the difference between they're a country or not, which I think's stupid, to be honest. So I that's why I think so.
Oh, completely. And I don't believe in the one China policy that my country believes in at all. Taiwan hasn't been under Chinese control since the last emperor, for that matter.
Taiwan es un país.
No sé, es que no sé, de verdad no estoy muy informada. Yo más o menos de aquí vale, pero ya de fuera lo justito.
Pues yo pienso que si sois independientes tenéis que ser independientes y que si es vuestro país desde siempre, pues que sea siempre vuestro y que gobernéis como os apetezca a vosotros los de Taiwán, no como digan los chinos.
Además, su gobierno deja bastante que
Sí, mucha democracia en China no hay, entonces por eso, dejen libres y que seáis como queráis ser los taiwaneses.
不好说，这个你得看他是怎么去定义的，从哪些角度去定义啊。不同角度的人肯定会有不同的想法。这个的话，就是跟每个人他这从小的教育啊，平时能接收到一些信息，是跟这些东西有关的。所以这个要是讲一个就是比较确定的一个定义的话，这个是不是很好说？
那你自己怎么看呢？
我自己我也不是很好说，因为现在说这些东西确实是比较敏感
啊，了解。
平常会比较就避免去正面回答一下这个。
Yeah, sure. It's an independent government, independent money, democracy. So yeah, obviously.
From what I have read, they are an ex-province of China, but they have their own government now. Whether they're independent or not, I also have read that China is very strong, pushing all the countries in the world to not allow them to see Taiwan as independent.
我希望就是中国可以早日统一吧。
有很多就是台湾艺人，我们都还挺喜欢。希望就是因为政治敏感方面，其实像有的艺人如果公开就是支持一个统一中国的这种言论的话，在台湾都是受排挤的。我希望就是祖国可以早日统一。
Para mí sí, o sea, siempre que en la lista de, no sé, de países suele estar Taiwán, entonces para mí Taiwán está ahí. Yo no sé mucho sobre el tema, pero para mí yo considero Taiwán un país.
I know currently that it's like, or at least recently in the media suggested that it's a lot worse. Like it's recent, like it's the worst relationship you've had in like decades or something like that. This happens all over the world, and I think it's really sad it's not talked about more. There's so many places, even in Europe, obviously it's happening everywhere, especially Asia, especially China, that they're taking over places and then it like eradicates their, you know, culture, their history, their art, their literature, everything. Like it takes all that away, and I think that's so sad. I just think it's so weird that in modern times, like in this century, we care about land. Like, are we, you know what I mean? Like that sounds just so weird to me. I don't know. Like it's strange, yeah.
Bueno, tengo entendido más o menos como que China tomó Taiwán de alguna manera y enseñan de hecho en Taiwán el chino mandarín como el idioma y no tengo mucha más.
As far as I'm concerned, the only reason that Red China wants them is because of their industry and their tech. Just a matter of control because they think they're going to control the Indo-Pacific.
I don't know the details too specifically, but I'm aware that yes, Taiwan refers to themselves, believes of themselves as their own autonomous country, whereas China believes that they are a part of them. That causes a lot of tension in many respects.
No, y hemos estado en China, pero no. En China y en Hong Kong, pero ya no hemos a Taiwán, no hemos ido.
想法这个要问我可能暂时没有，因为我是一个就是平常就比较顾着自己事情的人。
Yes, I also learned that when I went there. I was actually surprised because so I was studying there, and at university I remember people like Taiwanese people always told us, like everyone we met, that they think that China is gonna attack them. It was 10 years ago. I know it's tough relationships.
It's very difficult because we have a similar situation with Hong Kong, which was also Chinese, and then the Brits gave it back to China, and they promised all kinds of independence, but they haven't. They're just taking over. And with Taiwan, they want to do the same. They want to take it up and promise independence, but they probably won't give it. So it's complicated.
Yes. Like I said before about like obviously art, history, culture, I think that's always important to just know where things come from. But then also, isn't Taiwan the biggest supplier of, I never know what they're called, it's called TSMC.
Yeah.
I mean, then what would happen with that? That would be a whole thing, because that's, I think it's something like, is it 60% of the world's that comes from Taiwan? That's crazy. Like, we would have to sort that out, which that feels like a whole mess. So that, if nothing else, for no other reason to care, that should be your reason to care.
At least one of the
of course, there's many more important reasons.
I agree.
But if everyone's going to be selfish and not care for selfish reasons, that's a selfish reason you should care about.
La libertad es importante para todos los países. Como hay muchos países que están sometidos a otros regímenes, es importante que los países que están dominados por otros países como marquen su independencia y que no sé, como tengan alianza con otros países que también están en la misma situación, sobre todo en Asia, para reclamar su independencia, pero pienso que la libertad es algo que no se trata de un país, sino individual, como libertad individual de cada persona, que no tenga que elegir si eres de una cosa o de otra cosa, sino ser un ser libre y independiente.
Completely, yeah. Don't even get me started on that one.
Yes, of course, because the opposite of democracy is dictatorship or something like this, where one person is making the decisions for many people, and as soon as democracy goes away in one place, then that just makes it easier for democracy to go away in other places.
Pensamos que la democracia es importante en cualquier país, nación, lugar del mundo.
Tiene que seguir igual. Nada de los chinos, nada.
Yes, of course. I think every independent country should remain independent. Taiwan is said to be one of the most, democratic countries in Asia. It was the first one to allow, for example, for same-sex marriage, things like that. You could feel when you're there that it's really nice government and culture. So really think also for the whole of Asia that it's going to stay.
Absolutely, and also for Europe, and for Hungary, and for the US, and for every country that is actually working, Turkey, Ukraine, all the countries that are, on the brink. I think it's very important to have this system, which is better than the fact that we're actually making this interview means that we're free.
Yes,
in China,
exactly.
We couldn't do this. In North Korea, we couldn't do this. In Russia, we couldn't do this.
Desde luego, yo creo que la democracia, sea en Taiwán o sea donde sea, tiene que estar porque es el método de gobierno quizás donde puede tener más poder y pues yo creo que es importante para Taiwán, pero también para cualquier país.
Stay independent and don't let anybody push you around.
Ciudadanos de Taiwán. Estamos en España, aquí es un país democrático y ya estamos perdiendo muchos derechos en cuanto a la libertad. Así que, como persona que defiende la libertad y la democracia, no os dejéis engatusar por políticos que intentan vender humo, sino defended vuestros orígenes, vuestra libertad y vuestra patria.
Que es Taiwán y no es China. No votéis a los que quieren uniros a China.
Good luck. I hope you get the outcome you want. Try not to annoy China too much because they scare me a lot.
¿Qué podría decir a los taiwaneses? Se trata de algo más que sea de un país, o sea, más allá de que sea un país y que a pesar de que las personas en Taiwán tienen su cultura, su lengua, sus leyes, su democracia, pienso que es algo individual de cada ser, como algo que va más allá. Si una persona quiere estar sometido bajo otro imperio porque eso le da ciertos beneficios, entre comillas, pero al final pierde libertades. Entonces, como que la gente o los jóvenes, la gente mayor, como que tengan muy claro que estas elecciones va a marcar una gran diferencia en la historia del país y que nada vale más que la libertad individual.
Yeah, I think voting for parties that want to become closer to China is, in my humble point of view, maybe a bad idea because we can see the government in China, I'm only talking about the government, obviously not the people, but that the government of China is doing within China, within like the neighborhood, probably would be a bad idea to become Chinese.
Well, definitely the democracy, as faulty and problematic that it is, it's a million times better than the Chinese regime. It's absolutely horrendous that the Chinese have to ask for permission to buy anything, write anything, say anything. It's horrible. Now the Chinese are introducing the CBDC, which is the digital currency, and that's the end of privacy. They will not be able to spend 1 renminbi without the government knowing how to spend it. The Taiwanese should stick with it and never let the Chinese take over and make of them, sheep, servants.
No, yo les invito a que voten, a que usen su derecho al voto, porque ya sea para elegir a su candidato, para que no salga el que no quiere, tienen que expresarse y la única manera que tienen que hacerlo es mediante el voto. Entonces, no yendo a votar, soy favoritos que todo siga como está o que no salga lo que tú quieres. Entonces, votar creo que es un mensaje que hay que dar.
什么话想对我们台湾人说吗？
总统大选，我觉得这个牵扯到就是国家的一国两制的政治来说，然后我觉得希望就是台湾可以向澳门还有香港学习一下，
学习哪方面？
关于政治这一方面的。而且我觉得就是中国现在越来越强大了，也可以和美国抗衡了，所以就大家还是就是统一一下了。就是我觉得就很多这种挑起就是政治运动的事情，有很多都是因为西方的一些势力去参与在里面，因为他们就很希望我们祖国分裂，因为在现在就是全球来说的话，就是中国应该算是就是比较完整的一个大国， 其他的基本上都是共和国，但中国就是真的是一个大国。一国两制的方案，就是不管是对于你们的就是福利也好，还是对于大陆也好，我觉得都是就很不错，因为我觉得中国政府就是给香港啊，还有澳门，还有台湾的，就是一些方面的福利啊、优待啊，就都挺好。
像哪一些方案你觉得不错？
就是没有太多干涉于你们的政治方面，而且对于你们的话，就考虑到你们的那个历史文化的话，然后也会允许多党制，我觉得这也挺好的。因为我有听我台湾的朋友说过，就是他是说什么，就是街上两条路，一边都是挂的是国民党旗帜，另一边是那个就是五星红旗这样。
啊？没有，
我从来没看到五星红旗。
没有看到。
他有跟我说，有拍过照给我看过，就是也是有这方面的。
真的？
真的。
再过几天呢，就是我们的投票日，请大家一定要去投票，让我们一起把台湾变得更好。把这支影片分享给你的家人、给你的朋友、亲戚、邻居，所有人，让他们知道，在国外的这些欧洲朋友，认识的、不认识的，都非常非常关注这次的大选。所以，请你们大家一定要去投票，留言告诉我你们对于这支影片的想法。